All right, guys, this is episode 20 of the Nuff Said Sports Podcast. My name is Adam Dickens, and that is Trey Adams. Trey, say what up?
What's going on, everybody?
Absolutely. First off, this week we're going to be talking everything from Taylor Swift being the MVP for the Chiefs to the Miami Dolphins putting up basketball NBA scores up on the Broncos this week. But let's go ahead and get into it. Cue the intro, boys. All right, we are back. Man, before we get into sports real fast, real quick, we're just going off this. I know this is kind of like a little random, but tell me your most um your food, like something you can't stand to eat. Just something you can't stand to
My
eat.
my food.
Yeah, like anything you can't stand to eat.
I am.
Something
I
like
hate like sour cream and like I hate like sour cream. Like the texture, I can't stand it. Like if that comes close to my food, it bothers me. Um, what is it
okay,
like guacamole? Like I just it's the
yeah,
texture stuff.
I don't like guacamole. Okay, so what do you put on your baked potato if you don't put sour cream?
Um, Butter and the regular seasoning stuff. That's it.
That's absolutely Jesus. That's crazy. Anyways, my absolute food. This is a food take. Okay, this is my food take. I can't stand eating chicken salad or potato salad, any of the salads. Okay, I've tried because I had no problem trying different food. Okay, but like I've tried 20 to 25 different people's salads. Okay, white people's potato salad, black people's potato salad. I've tried everything. No can do, bro. I just can't. It's a texture thing for me. Uh, Boiled eggs, like the clamminess of it, or double eggs, can't do it, man. It's just like I literally had somebody bet me $50 to eat a boiled egg before. I couldn't get it down. I didn't get the $50. So it is whatever. That's just a little bit for audience get to know us a little bit. Other than that, Trey, how's your week been?
Oh, week just started. Sports week has been very shitty in all aspects for me. Trying to get past
Shit.
it. So I'm like, yeah, I just want the next week that already happened. I'm ready to speed by the week already. I'm just trying to take my mind off of things, drinking my life away, playing 2K like normal, but same shit, different day in a little bit. You?
Hell yeah. It's been a great week for me, man. I mean, at least I don't live in Colorado because whether it's the Broncos or it's the Dion show that came to a crash landing, man, I'm just glad I don't live in that Denver, Colorado area. I'm beyond happy. So, anyways, go ahead and jump into this stuff since I brought up Colorado. Last time it's been a little bit since we spoke, but Colorado lost and got blued out by Oregon,
Blue.
and Bo Nix at quarterback. And hey, are we doing this show for clicks or are we doing it for W's? What are we doing it for? Hey, let me know. Let me know. What do you think?
Wait, what you mean by that? You said for clicks or for W's?
Like the coach, you saw what the Oregon coach said, right? He said, because he was giving the hype speech, remember? And he asked his team, because he it was a diss at Colorado, and
Uh-huh.
bro was like, they're playing for clicks, we playing for W's, like you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Anyways, what do we think about that blowout?
Um, I mean, we knew they wasn't going undefeated. If it was anybody they was going to lose to, it was going to be a top 10 team. So I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm really not. I'm kind of glad it happened to get it out the way. We could stop putting them Colorado on this pedestal that we kind of had them on. So now everything comes back to reality a little bit. Um, they're still going to be them. Dion is still going to be Dion. He's still going to talk the way he does. I mean, I don't expect anything to change. But in regards to the game itself, it was ugly. Like that was atrocious. They had like 23 or 46 yards at half. That was bad. That was disgusting.
And there may be a reason why it was that bad. If so, Keyshawn Johnson, who we usually know for his NFL coverage, he came out and said that he talked to some of Oregon assistant coach, and the assistant coach said that they had almost every top 25 team come to them with information on how to beat Colorado. Like
Mm,
everybody pretty much wants to end Colorado's existence and Dion and all that stuff. And apparently they were sent tape and how to beat everything about Colorado is what Keyshawn Johnson. Now, where that could be bullshit, I believe it. You know what I mean? Uh, but I mean, just hearing that, like, you know how many haters you gotta have? Like, how many people hate the fact that Dion's getting the attention that he's getting right now? And what was the last time like we heard somebody getting taunted after they lost? You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. The fact that so many people want them to lose. Um, but I mean, moving forward, they've got USC this week. Caleb Williams, future most likely Heisman candidate. What
mm.
do we think they're going to catch another L or what?
Um, I do see it. I see two losses in a row. And again, it's not. I don't think it's anything to do with the team itself. Like, oh, they have a problem. I just think again, realistically, their lines, their offense and defensive lines, are not that good. Like, they're not what subpar like the rest of these powerhouse teams that majority of the people, all linemen, go to. I think their linemen, most of them again are either transfers. They came they came with Dion over. I just think they're not matched up against these top ranked teams linemen. I don't think that skill position. Yes, I do think they can match up skill position. But again, these close games or these tough college games, some things that's won in the trenches, man. So if you don't got the line and you ain't got the let's say the fat and the muscle to withhold and stand up, it's going to look like how it was last week. So I definitely think it continues and it rolls over to this next game. I definitely think it rolls over.
I like that fat and muscle comment from a former lineman. Definitely, it's been a while since I heard that. Um, I do think, and this is something I think I should have mentioned with the Oregon game is, man, having not having Travis Hunter changes the entire game plan for them. And I wouldn't even think. Oh, I mean, obviously you're losing talent, you're losing someone who commands the defense essentially and can guard those number one receivers. And also, he's also your number one receiver. So it's like
Exactly.
uh,
Exactly.
that I mean, it almost halves your team's production in a sense of what that's going to look like. Um, but I find it hard that they even have a chance without Travis Hunter. Even if you got Travis Hunter, that's not going to solve all your problems. It helps a lot, but
Mhm.
again, the lineman thing is an issue. But also, I would like to put this into perspective that if this, you assuming that um, Shador and the whole crew stays intact next year, which seems like it is, this is going to be the worst that we see Colorado. Like they're not going to be worse than this next year because
Agree.
there are recruits lining up to go to Colorado. They are lining up to play for Dion. And so this team's going to be loaded next year, and I don't see them being as bad. Not as I say as bad but they're not a bad team. But I don't see them being worse than what they are this year. It's only up from here.
Agree.
So
Agree.
so
I agree.
so I, every team needs to get that licks in now because it ain't gonna happen next year or the next 2 to 3 years. If we're being honest.
I agree. I totally agree with that. And it's like you said, Dion knows that. Um, and like you said, the positions are lining up from all over, linemen, skill positions, everything. You want to go there and you want to play for him because of just a simple fact. Again, it's more exposure. It's more exposure than normal. Like again, you know, just in general. the amount of money, this is a little bit off topic, the amount of money that Boulder and Colorado gained from that the last 2 weeks have been crazy. It's been over like $74 million that they gained. And people is just like, if I'm Dion, I'm asking for more. And it's just like, okay, don't let's not push our buttons here. But the amount of exposure that you get for playing for somebody like that is crazy to even think about.
It's man, it's an incredible thing. NIL is a lovely aspect, and Dion is playing right into it. Well, we're gonna go from talking to us about some of the most popular college right now to going to one of the most popular NFL teams in the 49ers. They it's not a blowout, but it's essentially a blowout. They beat the New York Giants 30-12, I believe, last Thursday night. Um, are, are are they the best NFL team right now?
They're definitely the most complete, hands down. There's no way in the world if you sit there and say anybody else is a more complete team or competes with them at that level. I think something's wrong with you because if you watch them play, there is not a hole in any of their in the areas of that you want a Super Bowl contending team to be. They have everything. And again, the more they go into the season and they're clicking, I think that you're going to see that the more better teams they do play. So the better teams that they run into, and you see them actually possibly come out with those wins, you'll see firsthand that I really have them as the Super Bowl favorites right now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's bullshit, man. I do think they have weaknesses, and I don't think anybody wants to talk about it right now. To be honest, if we talk about their first three games, they only played one good team. That's the Steelers, and they're middle of the pack as we speak. We're talking about a win over. They beat the Steelers. Okay, cool. They beat the Rams, who we saw last night aren't that good of a team. And then we look at the Giants. The Giants are probably one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. I don't think they're that good. The only hole I will say, because I do, you're 90% right on they have no holes, but the 10% I'm talking about is I'm watching Brock Purdy in this game, and he just missed some layups, like some easy passes that should be, you know, good for him.
Are we
I,
coming for Brock Purdy right now? Is that what we're
Damn
doing?
right. Damn right. And I think that, whether he's still overcoming the surgery, whatever it is, I'm not in his ear, I'm not in his locker. I don't really know what the problem is. But it's some layup passes that he should have made. And I see that as a whole. If he has one bad night, which I mean is really any team in the NFL, if your quarterback has a bad night, you're probably gonna lose. Um, but he could make some just few bad passes and it's over
I'm
with. And
disgusted. I'm disgusted. You could have, out of everybody, you went for he's balling. I don't. He's not gonna make
oh
every
no no
freaking throw.
no,
Nobody does.
he's balling. You call four
He's balling.
touchdowns. You four touchdowns in 3 games balling. Okay, we got a new
He's
definition of balling.
he's balling. He's doing what he's supposed to do in that offense. He ain't doing too much. He ain't being. It ain't a him show. It's a team show. You got these weapons. It ain't. You know what you're capable of. You know what all you have to do. He ain't got to do nothing. And like you said, look who he playing against. He play who you play who on your schedule. Let's be real here. So the fact that you got these bums you got to play, that's not your fault. You just dog them and keep it moving. Let's be real. So
I see what you're saying. I do also think that like he's the orchestrator. Like he is the director of all these weapons, right? He essentially
hmm
is the Swiss Army knife. He has all these weapons he can use for different ways. He's using McCaffrey in a great way. He's using Debo. Debo's showing out. Ayuk had a good game against the Steelers to start the season off. Like there are all these, but soon as there's a little disruption, I just think that it's gonna come crashing down in a sense. Now the 49ers are gonna be relevant. Like don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're the best team, and that was the question that we talked about. If you ask me, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, but Miami, welcome to Miami, is the best team out here, son. They are the best team. If you are putting up 70 points and your defense is getting to the other quarterback, you got the best team right there. And I don't see, again, we'll talk more about it. I don't want to go into it because they are another topic that we are going to get to. Uh, but right now, the Dolphins, I would argue, are one of the best teams. I would also throw a lot of people that aren't talking about this team, though. The Buffalo Bills, I think, are making a major comeback from that first week loss that they
Ugh.
shouldn't have lost in the first place. But they have been playing good ever since week one. And the defense is probably one of the best defenses out there right now. That's just honest.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Ugh.
make that face. So let's go ahead and move towards it. Um, let's talk about America's team. The Cowboys having some problems. They ended up losing to who did they lose to? They
The
lost
Cardinals.
the Cardinals of all damn teams. Um,
The Joshua Dobbs led Cardinals.
hey, Dobbs. Okay, I'm gonna make this claim right here. The Arizona Cardinals are what the Detroit Lions were last year. Okay, they're a team that wasn't. No one was ringing their bell to come into the season, but they are being a lot, playing hard and doing a lot better than what people thought they were, and they're going hard for a coach that people won't fill in either. So to me, I see a lot of similarities to the Detroit Lions from last year with Dan Campbell head coach. But what do you think about the Cowboys before I go on my little Cardinals tangent?
Um, I think it humbled them. It definitely humbled them, and it was needed. Again, just because of how you was just talking about the Cardinals, um, and pretty much what their everybody's expectations of them for this season, for them to lose a game like that they're not supposed to lose pretty much, and the way it happened. I think that's the thing that we need to key in on as fans of football and stuff like that. It's how it happened. It's not like they got they lost by a field goal off of like the team was playing good and the Cardinals just played great. No, they lost off of stupid shit that we all know what their problem is, and it just happened to show up against a team like you said that's playing hard and that wanted it more. They were more hungry. So again, for these things to pop up against a weak team, imagine when you do play a division team like the Eagles, what's going to happen? What are you going to get? Because again, we saw turnover Dak. Hi, he's back. Two red zone picks. That can't happen. That cannot happen. We saw bad play calling from McCarthy. Hi, McCarthy, you're back at the stupid at the helm again, calling dumb plays in the red zone. Like they get away from the basics in a way, and what everybody is expecting them to do, they say no, we're going to try to do something outside the box, and then it backfires. Majority of the time, it backfires. Um, and yeah, that defense just got ate up on the run. It definitely did. Joshua Dobbs was like, I'm a scramble, do what I need to do. Um, and yeah, they play hard. So I give it to the Cardinals, but I definitely think again we're seeing little glimpses of the Cowboys and what their problem is showing against bad teams, and that's not needed. It is not needed. What'd you see?
I think that this is when okay, a lot of people blasted Bart Scott. Did you see that situation? Bart
Mm-mm.
Scott situation. Okay, Bart Scott, ex linebacker for the Jets. He came out and said that pretty much they were talking about Trayvon Diggs' injury. And he said, like I do a lot, is that at the end of the day, the Cowboys are going to cowboy, and something's going to happen that just tears this team apart. And a lot of people blast him because they say he was being insensitive of the Trayvon Diggs' uh, injury being season ending. But I think it's absolutely true, and I'll say it. To me, I wasn't surprised because we've seen it before. Almost every season, something happens, whether it's an injury to somebody important or coaching or something happens for the Cowboys, and the whole season falls apart. This is the same thing. Their heart left the building when Trayvon Diggs got hurt for the season. He tore ACL, right?
AC, I think it was
I think it
ACL.
was
ACL.
ACL, and I think their heart left. And then you go against a team who, like the Cardinals, who since week one, a lot of people don't watch Cardinals game and Granted, they're not like my number one on the watch list, but I peek them. You know what I'm saying? I've been paying attention, and every week they're playing hard. Their defense is going all out and giving fights. You know, they might not be winning. This is their first win, but like they play hard every damn week. And when you have a heart that leaves the team with Trayvon Diggs injury, and you have a team that is 100% effort and like maybe 20% talent, you that goes against it butts heads, and you're gonna have the Arizona Cardinals win. And I saw a team in the Cowboys that didn't look like they did the previous 2 weeks, and the only thing that changed was Trayvon Diggs leaving that team. I mean, not leaving,
You
but
just said
you know,
Trayvon Diggs was the heart of that team. Did you really just say that out loud?
no, I didn't say he was the. Technically, yes. Technically, yes. If you want to be honest, I don't. No, I just think that okay for someone for teams that are fragile. Okay, this is what I mean. Trayvon teams that are fragile, such as the Cowboys, and so talent oriented that as soon as something bad happens, the heart leaves. That's what I mean. I don't mean Trayvon Diggs is. I mean that defense is based around him, though. If we're being honest, him and Michael Parsons. But like as soon as something bad starts to happen, you know, a little rock avalanche starts. All right,
Mhm.
one little rock falls and an avalanche starts. That's what a fragile. That's what happens to a fragile team. That's what happened this week. That's the only change that happened this week. So if it's not that, tell me what it was.
Or they was just they were freaking getting complacent that they were 3-0, about to be 3-0, and it was like, oh crap, we're playing the possibly the worst team in the league. It's going to be a cakewalk. I think it's something as simple as that. I don't believe it was one thing happened and now they're going to crumble down. And I mean, again, he is a big piece of that defense. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that. But to sit there and say one thing happened and now it was just they played a hardworking team. And if you like you said, if you really look at the games in the film of them Cardinal games, the Cardinals was in every game they played. They just happened to lose because of the skills. But they are, like you said, their heart is there. The Cowboys walked into that on that field thinking they were just going to blow them the fuck out, and they came out the gate. Nah, that's not about to happen. I think it's as simple as that.
Trey, I'm not gonna. Most of the time, I'm going against things, but I do think you make a good point. You know, I think we could both be right, but I do agree with what you said. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I could see that happening. You got the America's team versus the fucking Arizona Cardinals that no one gives a shit about. So, and I've been on teams that happens to where you have talent and they come in with this high ass attitude and get your ass stomped by a team that's grittier, um, and just works a lot harder than you do for W's and losses. You know, it's. I will say too that Deck's interception didn't help. If we're being honest, it didn't help, and it looked really bad. You know, I just they had the biggest problem they had was in the red zone, in the end zone, not getting there. Hell, they couldn't even get
Hmm.
fucking field goals. If we're being honest, like I just I think that because they had plenty of yardage, everybody on the team ate like they ate up and
Yeah,
down that field, but they couldn't
yeah.
capitalize on it and couldn't get touchdowns. And it's like, what else do you think is happening? So I mean, I think part of that is chemistry. I think part of that is, you know, the formula is perfect when Trayvon Diggs is there and Stephon Gilmore is there and Michael Parsons. But you take since it's so talent based, you take one key out, one puzzle piece out of the puzzle, and it all falls apart. I honestly think they're just a fragile team. But like I said, I do think you have a point. Either I think both of us could be right. Uh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you made some good points. Anything else we want to touch on before we move on?
No, but let's jump into this freaking conversation. So from the
Hold
team with
on, hold
oh,
on. Shout out to Josh Dobbs too, man. I I think a lot of people, real quick, said that this team. I said it myself that Colt McCoy when he got cut, were like, oh, okay, Arizona Cardinals are fucking tanking. Like but like nah, they legit had a plan, and you know, Colt McCoy doesn't necessarily change the topic, but like we thought that he was going to be the starter for a bit with Kyle Murray out. But no, like Josh Dobbs is all right. I think if anything, they respond to not just the coaching, but Josh Dobbs as the team as a whole responds to him better than what they did with Colt McCoy. But I mean, they're going to be fighting for 3 wins, but it's going to take the whole fucking team's hard work. But anyways, let's get
No,
into the match.
I like that. Just to piggyback a little bit off of that. Shout out to Jonathan Gannon, man. I dude is Nick Grit, first dub in the league. I think he comes from that offensive tree that again it's just I think he is going to be he's an offensive genius in the sense of he knows how to get the best out of his offense and utilize people's skill sets. He's going to abuse what they're good at. I do think he knows how to do that coming from he came from where was he at previously? Was he in Philly?
No, no, no. You're talking about the Colts. You're talking about Steichen. Hold
That's
on.
what I was referring to. Jonathan came from somebody. Where the hell is he from? He came from he was the defensive coordinator.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Uh, came from where?
I'll
Yeah,
let you
he
what
was
you
the
call it.
defense. I thought he was an offensive coordinator. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Yeah, you're right.
But again, he knows what he's doing, and I like he knows how to use people's skill sets and put them in a position to win. So with that being said, shout out Jonathan Gannon, got your first dub. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I thought he had. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Go.
moving on to the next topic. This topic hurts my heart to even think about this. I'm trying to move forward, you guys. You
Don't
guys are
hurt
gonna cause me
me.
to drink
It
Black
don't
Label.
hurt me. It doesn't hurt me.
The Dolphins show absolute no mercy against my Denver Broncos. And that game became a track meet within the first series for the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill gets loose and explodes. And then that's all you need to do in Miami. And the game becomes pretty much a college team playing a pro team. And it looked atrocious in all three phases of the game for the Denver Broncos. But is that a testament to how bad Denver is, or is that telling you how good the Dolphins are?
I think I'm gonna be honest. I think it speaks more. Yeah, I could bail out and say it's a combination of both, which in my heart I truly believe. But I will say that this is a bigger testament to how good the Miami Dolphins are. Okay, and this is why I'll say this: they put up 70 points. Listen here, come here. They put up 70 points without Waddle. Okay, your second best weapon. You didn't have to have him, and he put up 70 motherfucking points. And on top of that, someone who I spoke highly in the offseason about on this podcast, if we want to clip that up real quick, is Devon A. Chain that I brought up, and I know you remember this, was gonna show out this season, and he got his opportunity this game and fucking put it on the fucking Broncos. And I'm super excited about that. I do think that the Dolphins are really good. I think that the combination of a fast paced offense and putting up points really quick, and then letting your pass rush say, fuck it, go after. Right? You taste blood, go. That's what the fuck they did. And it shows. Relatively, I think Russ had a good game for this, so I don't really put it on the Broncos. I mean, the defense was bad, but like, shout out to Russ. He had a decent game, in my
The
opinion.
defense was bad. That's the best you got. I totally disagree with that statement. I totally disagree with everything you just said.
You don't think the
It
defense
is
is the best?
completely, it just shows how bad the defense is for the Denver Broncos. It just shows how bad it is. I'm not taking anything, I'm not minimizing anything from the Dolphins. We know they're high scoring. We know they can outscore anybody or put up numbers against any and everybody. Cool beans. Y'all defense is pretty legit right now. It's playing good football. Not all that great, but they're pretty good. But it really showed you how bad this defense really is, or this team rather. This defense is the worst in every statistical category you could possibly think of. And if they're not the worst, they're top three worst defenses in the league. I think it's the worst defense ever right now. This defense is garbage. And the Dolphins clearly had the weapons to exploit any and everything. They clearly kept doing this left sweep or this left toss every other play, and Denver just couldn't do anything about it. I literally saw 5 different plays doing the same exact thing and the same block formation, the same concept, and they did not adjust in any kind of way. Instead, you got memes of them, Denver Broncos people just laying on the ground. Like it is that bad, dude. That defense is atrocious.
So is that I'm not trying to go too in depth, but is that a Sean Payton issue, or I don't know your defensive coordinator, or no, your defensive coordinator is
Vance
old.
Joseph. Vance Joseph.
Yeah, Vance Joseph, ex Chargers head coach. Am I correct on that? I believe so. Vance Joseph. No.
He was defensive coordinator for the Arizona, and before that, he was a Denver Broncos head coach.
Yeah, I remember that part. Okay, never mind. Yeah, whose fault is it? Is it a Sean Payton issue?
And no, I think Sean Payton gave Vance Joseph the keys to that defense, and it was the wrong thing to do. He shouldn't even gave him the chance. It should have been Rex Ryan, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, he gave the keys to the wrong person to drive that whip, and now we're in this boat where they're 0-3, and the defense is literally the worst, the worst. Patrick Surtain, they talking about fire selling already. Like if they get rid of everybody on that defense, star wise, it would be a total shame. But right now, I don't necessarily think it's the offense in any kind of way. It's not the offense to blame. It is not.
I will say this. I was not. I mean, I was surprised that 18 had such a dominant performance, but just that Miami run game, I think, is the difference between last year and like this year, and obviously Tua's fucking concussions. That's another thing that he's not, the major difference. But that run game is just super efficient. Like it's been good in every game so far this season. Not as good as this week. But I mean, I will also say your linebacker Jewel or Joel, I don't know how you say his name, the white linebacker you guys got. He's a he's a big part of this defense for you guys. And it seemed when he went out, I think it got a lot worse. And that heart of that defense, I think it just made it a lot harder on the rest of everybody else when he went out. But yeah, that run game for the Miami Dolphins to me was a major key. Like that run offense is just if they're still clicking like this towards the end of the season, I don't see how you don't see Super Bowl for this team. I don't, and I'll hop on the bandwagon. But I think they're the best team in the league. You put up 70 points. I think you get that title at least for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Uh,
No,
and
too much
I
credit.
mean,
Too much credit.
what?
Too
So
much credit.
as a Denver fan, you just think that Denver Broncos defense is that bad?
It's statistically proven. They're the worst in yards and rushing, passing, obviously points. They're the worst defense in the league right now. They're literally the worst. They have no pass rush. They have nobody that you're scared of in the secondary, other than Justin Simmons and Patrick Surtain. But again, realistically, you have no pass rush, so they're just sitting out there in coverage trying to fucking defend for their lives. This defense is horrible right now. And it is not the players necessarily. I don't think the players is bad. I just think their concept and how they're doing things. They don't want to play for this guy, Vance Joseph. They don't, and you can. It's obvious at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fucking Chiefs could have put up 70 on the Bears, but they kind of let up a little bit. They the little mercy rule. They just like it ain't that serious, and they kind of let go. But it's another story. Yeah, let's keep it moving to the Jaguars lose to who did they lost to the fucking who did they lose to? I'm tripping again.
The Texans.
Yeah, the Texans. I am actually, you know, we had the Jags coming up big in this season coming up. We were talking about them very highly in the off season. Um, I think somebody that we didn't talk about enough is the Texans, and I think C.J. Stroud. I've been peeking him too. He's been hot the first 3 weeks. That whole offense, Tank Dell has really been popping off the board. Um, I, I think it's not that we haven't been talking about to me, it's less about how bad the Jags were and more about how good the Texans team was this week. And it is just a matter of time. I think CJ Stroud has been fucking killing it. What do
I
you
disagree completely again.
yeah,
I disagree completely again.
go
We
ahead.
are expecting great things from Trevor Lawrence in this offense, from ETN in this offense, from Calvin Ridley in this offense. And we're not getting that production we need. We saw glimpses of it the game one, and then game two happened when they played the Chiefs. It was like, what the hell is happening? Now we get another shit show offensive display, and it's like, where is this explosive offense that is high pace? Um, I'm trying to think of the coach name. Doug Peterson usually has
Yeah.
a high flying offense that is respectable, and it's scary because of the simple fact of if you have weapons, people are all over the place. It confuses defenses, and it just you're able to exploit based off of your skill positions. That's not happening. We're not getting that, and I don't know what necessarily the problem is. I really don't. I watch these games for them, and I don't know necessarily what is the problem. Is it sunshine? Is it Trevor? Is it something he's doing that or he's not doing? I don't know.
I'm from what I'm seeing. Okay, this is what I see. I think that first off, some of the major problems are on the Jags defense, and we both thought coming in this from this offseason that they're going to be very a youthful defense, which they are, but they were going to be
Mm,
hungry and more effort, and we thought they were going to fast pace, rush the passer every time, single time, at an efficient rate. They haven't been that. They just haven't.
mm.
They've been just lackluster on this standpoint. I do still think they're good. I think they have some inconsistent moments. I think they had a good game versus the Chiefs. I mean, obviously they lost, but like that Chiefs defense is actually pretty fucking good, like compared to what we saw in that first week. Uh, but we do think I
Why
think
does
they're a good defense. And I think on top of that, I think they're just this early season woes. I do think at the end of the day they'll figure it out. They'll pull it out. I Part of me feels like there's a lot of hype coming from the offseason on Ridley, and he hasn't fulfilled that potential. And Calvin Ridley just hasn't. He hasn't been that. I mean, a lot of people were talking Julio. A lot of people were talking Calvin Johnson type talk for Calvin Ridley, and he hasn't been even close to that. He's been okay, but Zay Jones was out this game too, and he's a big part of their offense. Um, ETN hasn't fulfilled his potential. I know you're a big ETN guy. I'm not trying to call you out. It's
he
just
been
what it
playing
is.
all right? Don't be coming for my man. He been playing all right.
He's okay, but not the way he was talking. But I think it's a whole bunch of stuff they're trying to figure out. This when you got big name or bigger names like Calvin Ridley, you can't spread the ball out as much as you want to because it used to be like a no name offense. 5 receptions here, 5 receptions
You're
there, but
you're
it's not like
forgetting a key you're forgetting a key component though to the offense. The guy who everybody was like got over freaking paid to go there. Christian Kirk, what is he doing? Like they have weapons. They have a lot of weapons that they can use. It's just I don't know why it's not clicking. And again, it's early in the season. They still have time to get their shit together. We all saw last year that they was a second half team. Um, but from those the contending teams, that's not what you want to see early in the season. It's not.
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, let's bring this up next week because I feel like we just don't have enough to go off of, to be honest. I'll look a little bit more into it, but I think we just need another week of evidence and see how they do. Who are they going against next week? Um,
Great question. Um, you got it.
no, I can though. Hold on.
They play the Falcons.
I think that's a good test. If they don't come out, if there's no domination from them, I think that's a good little test. Sometimes going against lower tier teams can bring you up a little bit. We'll see how they do against the run with Bijan. Um, Ritter's a mid to low tier quarterback, so I think that's a good gauge um, to how they do.
Oh, it's the first London game of the year. They're in London.
I was gonna try to do like a British accent, and son, it's just not coming to me. I was about to do fucking Australian
You shanked it before you
accents.
even started.
Hey, mate, let's go for some fish and chips. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about these Baltimore Ravens having a few issues against the Colts. I watched the game for the most part. It's very close the whole game. The Indianapolis Colts with Gardner Minshew at quarterback would not die. So what is this more of a
Ballin',
Ravens?
son.
I
I
can't.
fucks with Gardner Minshew. I
I
fucks
do
with him.
too.
I like his how he carry himself. I like that again. He know all odds is against him, and he just be like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna do me." I love
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah.
I
I always,
fucking love
I,
it.
I always thought that Theo Vaughn would be a great quarterback. You know, you know who Theo Vaughn is? You don't know? What do you live under a rock? God, jeez. Come on, man. You got to get up with it, man. Stop playing 2K all the fucking time. All right.
I
Anyways,
can.
go ahead. What's
No,
your
you
thoughts
got
on
it.
the game though?
You got it.
What you want me to take it? Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think that the Colts just wouldn't die. I mean, Gardner Minshew is known for coming in, uh, being the second string and like giving that team, always got rallying the guys. He did it a little bit when he was with the Eagles, when he was in Jacksonville, he's fucking killing it. I think that when it comes to the Ravens, though, I don't think there was nothing wrong. I mean, Lamar's doing his thing. I don't think there's nothing wrong. I just don't think that Ravens defense, who we thought was really good, just couldn't put them away. I think this is just what happens in the fucking NFL when you got a quarterback like Gardner Minshew who you think that should be easy to knock out, kind of like what you said with the Cardinals and what should have happened against them with the Cowboys. I think it's the same thing. I think that the Ravens came into this game thought it was going to be easy, and it just wasn't. I also think that Odell's hurt. He's not. Oh, big prediction. Fucking Odell's hurt. What's fucking new? Um,
Nah.
I think you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? He's fucking always hurt. Uh, Apparently he's a fucking Kim Kardashian, but that's another. That's
Probably
not
why
the
he
room.
hurt. That's a lot of ass.
I'd be hurt too. I'd be laid up on the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't play today. Um, but anyway, enough of BBL Odell. Okay. Anyways, I think that he's hurt. I think that from what I've seen from not Jesus. Uh, what's the damn? Why am I tripping? I was about to say Zay Jones again. Fucking Zay
Zay Flowers.
Flowers. He's getting a lot of receptions, but it's not super efficient. Like it's like what did he have last game? It was 8 receptions for 48 yards. It's just not super efficient. Like you getting damn running back efficiency numbers pretty much. Um, you're dependent on rookie like that when Odell's out. It's just not a good setup. I could keep going, but what do you think?
I don't believe that either. I think their offense need is in fucking crisis mode. Remember before we did the panic button about their offense? I think it is officially hit there. You have these running backs and Gus Edwards. You're fucking trying to get you're trying to resurrect Melvin Gordon's career, and they're
Kenyon
getting
Drake, they're
10.
trying. Kenyon Drake too. They're trying to bring his ass back. But go ahead.
He's old. He's done. But in general, they have these players that they have on this team, and it's like they're not able to produce the way that they not even that they should, but in this system. I don't know what the problem is with Baltimore. But just if you look at the stats and if you watch the game, it looks like it's just a Lamar show. Everybody just stand around and watch him pull a miracle out of his fucking ass. And I don't necessarily think that is healthy for Lamar. This is what he thought last year, and he was just like, "This is why I want my money." That we not everybody is not thinking about. Maybe he's like, "This is how bad y'all need me." Again, they relied a lot on Odell coming back and trying to be the old Odell. No, he is the old Odell. He's old. Like he ain't going back to New York form. That shit is out the window. But again, they need to open up the playbook a little bit. They got to expand that offense. They're kind of sticking to their old run heavy ways. 4-5 formation is the whole game thing, and that's going to work. And I think people are just catching on to how to defend Lamar in a way. Again, he's going to get his. It's just, can you get everybody else? You're not going to stop Lamar from getting his fantasy stats pretty much. He's going to get his. But can you contain everybody else? And if you do that, you get results like Sunday, losing in overtime to the Colts at home. At home. That can't happen. That can't happen.
I'm gonna bring this back up, and I understand what you're saying. I understand the frustrations, but you also have to understand they're missing almost half their offense. You're missing, I believe, your Pro Bowl center, your Pro Bowl left tackle, I believe, or left tackle, left guard, something like that. You're missing BBL Odell. You're missing J.K. Dobbins, who's out for the season. Like that is literally half of the best players on your offense, and I just don't think you can. It when you're missing half your the quality of your offense, you're gonna have struggles like you did against a team like the Colts, who technically should win because everybody. I think everybody's saying, "Oh, we have Lamar Jackson, we should just win." Technically, that's right, but like everything you had him surrounded by, most of it is gone right now. So I just think that it's gonna be like this for a while. You're gonna have a whole bunch of games like this. Let's look at who they're coming up against. You got the Browns. Bruh, Lamar's about to be obliterated by the Browns defense. The Steelers
Absolutely.
defense obliterated. This is so bad.
Absolutely.
Uh, they got the Titans after that. That might give them a little bit of a break. Then you got the Lions. That's going to be fucking rough. Um, you got the Cardinals. We just talked about how much effort the Cardinals get. Like this is going to be really rough for the next couple weeks. But I understand and it's reasonable because of the injury. Now, if they can bounce back from these injuries, cool. But usually, when you're missing this many people, you have to reinvigorate yourself in what
I'm looking at
comes.
their schedule. Dude, the end of the year is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I
Look at their
fucking
last 4 games.
they're playing
They
the best
got
teams.
in in order. Jacksonville, again, by then they should be fixed. The 49ers, the Dolphins, and then back at the Steelers their last game of the year. Dude, that's the
Yeah,
huh.
but I mean, like I said, when you're having this many injuries, you have to pretty much recreate the team because it's not the same, and it's going to be some ugly games from here on out. But anything else you want to touch on before we move forward?
I could see them if the Broncos happen to fire sale, I could see them doing a trade for Jerry Judy. I can see that.
I could.
I'm putting
I
that out
mean,
there.
that'd
I could
be
see that.
that'd be a that'd be a no, I want to say a loaded, but that would be a good. It's just Zay Flowers is a rookie. You can't put so much on him. Like I thought he was the second best receiver coming out of the draft, but you can't depend on him so much early. Like you just can't. If anything, somehow get space for him, create space, have him. I don't know, freaking bunch formations, have him sprint across the field. Like there's so many different things you could do. Screens, little gadget things that I know the Ravens love to do. Let's go on to this Thursday night game? Yes, Thursday night game versus the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I'm looking forward to this. Two teams are in very similar spaces, I believe, as far as how good they are. Uh, how do we think this is going to play out?
I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think Jordan Love is going to his a primetime game for him. So I think he, after seeing him come clutch last week, even though they shouldn't have been in that position. Um, he had to put on his little Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers show for everybody to show that he could do a comeback. But I do think the defense is going to be a defensive show. I think that whoever defense can get the more turnovers, which is kind of basic to say, can get the more turnovers and put the offense in positions to score is going to win this game. Um, so yeah, I definitely think I'm definitely tuning into this game. I'm liking what I'm saying from both sides. Jahmyr Gibbs had a kind of a quiet week last week after getting the starting nod after what's his name got injured. Damn, what the hell was his name? What was the Bears running back that got the running back
Uh,
that came to the Lions?
I'm visualizing who you're talking about, but I can't. It's not. Starts with a D.
It's not popping up, but he got the starting nod last week because that man got injured. And again, the defense against Atlanta, he necessarily wasn't the best. But I do think he'll have a bounce back week, hopefully, and he's able to do what he needs to do to show that he can be a three down back. And he has to be able to prove that. David Montgomery, he has to be able to prove that David Montgomery should be his backup. He has to take that role. It's not going to be given to him, and he has to be able to show that. So again, look out for the defenses to put the offenses in position. Jared Goff is going to do Jared Goff things. He's going to be basic, but he's going to make sure that again, it's a primetime game. He's going to have to prove that this is the stage I need to be on. Let me do it. But I do have the Packers winning that game. I'm gonna just throw that out there ahead of time. But who you got?
Well, before I jump into it, do we believe more in Jordan Love right now than we do Jared Goff, or relatively
I
speaking?
I am. I don't know about you, but I know I'm on a Jordan Love train. Choo choo.
I'm warming up to it. I have been surprised, um, but I think of them relatively the same. Quarterbacks are overcoming low expectations, I would say. I think that this depends on a lot if Aaron Jones comes back for the Packers. I think that's a big factor. Just because that Lions run defense is something to be scared of because they've shut down a lot of people. They shut down Bijan. They shut down Pacheco in week one. They didn't do so good against who they play against week two. Kenneth Walker in week two. They didn't do that good of a job. They shut down as far as yardage, just not touchdowns. Um, but the run defense for the Lions is the key. I think that it's going to be a tight game regardless, and I could see this being, a 60-point game over and under, damn near. To be honest, I think that part of me saying inside my soul that Jordan Love is gonna come and show out again, and he's gonna be an MVP. I think he's gonna have to because of the Lions' run defense. You know what I mean? Um, I'm interested too in how Aiden Hutchinson does in the pass rush because last week he had 2 sacks, I believe, 2 or 3 sacks. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of his. I know we talked about him multiple times on the show. Um, it's like I said, both these teams are in similar spots. Good defenses relatively. Quarterbacks that are like in that mid tier. That could rise up. Jared Goff has been showing out and doing really good. Um, I'm in similar spots. I'll take the Lions. I'll take the Lions. I'll give my hat off to them. It's going to be a close game though. I think high scoring, but a close game. And that's how I roll, man. I really believe in that. Anything else you want to touch on before we head up?
No, but I do predict that Rasul Douglas will get a pick this game too. Primetime games, he knows what the deal is. I'm calling it now.
Hey, hey, we gotta start working on this man on getting him on the pod because I, I've got a lot of questions for him, man. That's a few questions I got for him. Some good juicy stuff. He's been balling out, playing good. Yeah. I would love him on the pod. So that's something we got to try to do. Okay.
Definitely, definitely.
Um, I think that we should thank Sonorous Wave for the intro song. Thank you guys. Also for being our sponsor too. Um, I would like to move forward and thank Dreadsock because right after this show ends, we're gonna play a commercial for him. If you have locks or protective hairstyle, check them out. Keep the hair lint free. Protect it while you sleep. And with that being said, guys, make sure you go check out our social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything. We are going to be putting out clips by the dozens this week. Some good, entertaining information. Uh, and, the juicy
I'm excited
good
about that.
shit. You know what I mean?
Very
Back,
excited
back,
about that.
back to how it should be. With that being said, guys, we love you. Have a good week. We'll see y'all on Saturday. Sound good? All right, we out.